Hello children, welcome to social science class. In today's class, we are going to revise the question answers which is given in the NCERT book in history. So already I have given 4 questions to learn. The remaining questions we are going to learn today. So just copy all these notes in your classwork site and just learn it. So the third question which is given in the book was, what were the qualifications necessary to become a member of a committee of the Sabha in the Chola Empire? So yesterday only I took this class. So as they want to choose as a member in the committee in the Chola Empire, they should have some restrictions like. So the working of a Sabha according to the Uttaramerur inscription is given below. All those who wish to become members of the Sabha should be the owner of a land, and the revenue is collected, and they should have their own homes, and they should be between 35 and 70 years of age. They should have knowledge of the Vedas. They should be well versed in administrative matters and honest in all dealings. So if anyone has been a member of any committee in the last 3 years, he cannot become a member of another committee. So anyone who has not submitted his accounts as well as those of his relatives cannot contest the election. So here there are 7 rules. The first rule is of one who have to have the land, the own land, that is of land owner, and he'll be collecting the revenue from others. So the second rule is about they should have their own house, and the third rule is about the age limit for the committee of the Sabha in the Chola Empire was 35 to 70 years, and they should have the knowledge of the Veda. And the next one is of he should be well versed in administrative matters. All the same time he should be very honest in everything. And the next thing is about for the last 3 years, if anyone of the member has been the committee member, means from that family they won't select any of the member for the committee. And those person one who was selected in the committee should submit the account clearly, so that if it not been done, the relatives also will not be elected for the committee member. So these are the rules that are the qualifications that become a committee for the committee member for the Sabha. So the next question is, what did the new dynasties do to gain acceptance? So as we know, what are the new dynasty, what they did to gain the power and the wealth? First thing is they themselves declared as Mahasamantas and Mahamandaleshwara. We saw no, so they may give their name as Mahasamantas, or they may call it as Mahamandaleshwara. So many of the kings gives their sounding titles like Maharaja Adiraja or Tribhuvana Chakravartin. So this, apart from that, the Brahmanas, they didn't even do the ritual practice. They left out the ritual practice. At the same time, they become the great warriors. And then these activities, so we saw those things, like declaring themselves as Mahasamanta or Mahamandaleshwara, or they having the sounding titles like Maharaja Adiraja, Tribhuvana Chakravartin, and we saw that Brahmanas become the warriors, so they left out the ritual practices, everything we saw. So these activities we come to know from the record which was written in Precisti. So this thing shows that how they demonstrate their power and resources by building their large temples too. Okay, so they showed their power and their resources by building so many large temples. Then the next question is about what kind of irrigation works were developed in Tamil Nadu. So what are the types of things they did to develop the cultivation? For example, in Tamil Nadu at that particular period, the Chola period. So here the large scale cultivation was developed in Tamil Nadu, and in many cases artificial irrigation became necessary because they have to save the water for the plants, so that they have to water it. So they started doing the artificial irrigation. So what are the artificial thing they did is of a variety of methods were used. The first one is about wells were dug, and the second one is of huge tanks were constructed to collect the rainwater, and the third one, the canals were constructed. So these three things they did to make it as artificial for the irrigation works. Apart from this, what they did certain plan how to organize the labors and resources they used for agriculture, and the decision were taken collectively on the usage of water. For example, how to use the water, for what purpose, when to use, and how to use. So these kinds of decision have been taken by such persons who were appointed for that. And new rulers and people also took an initiative attention, because this is the activities they need to do for their own place. So many of them come forward to look into this work, because of the favor of they have to serve their continent, right? So this is the thing we learnt about the irrigation work, how they got developed in Tamil Nadu and by the artificial irrigation, right? Then the next question is of what were the activities associated with the Chola temples. So as we know that splendid temples and bronze sculptures of the Cholas, the first one is about Rajaraja and Rajendra Varma. They built a big temple of Tanjavur and Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So this we all know. So how will be the Tanjavur and Gangaikonda Cholapuram big temple? It was very well known for its architectural and sculptural marvel. So you can see the statues and the architects was very beautiful, and it was unbelievable. So the next point is about Chola temples. It is the center of all the settlements around the people, one who are living around the thing. So they came to trade in that particular place. So that was the center of craft protection, isn't it? Then the temples were also endowed with land. Endowed means by owned. That was owned by the both rulers and the other people. And the next is about the produce of this land went to maintain all the specialists who worked at the temple, and very often they lived near it, because they have to sell something which they produce among themselves, right? So what they did, they stayed near the temple and they were selling their products, and they become rich over there. So who were the people living around the temple? Were the priests, the garland makers, the cooks, the sweepers, the musicians, the dancers, etc. So these kinds of people were working at the temple, and they are earning their money, as well as they need to pay the tax in order to, isn't it? Then in other words, the temples are not only for worship, it is also known as the hub of it is a place to make the economic level, social level, and cultural level to raise among themselves, isn't it? So these is then the next thing is about the crafts which they did in that period is of the bronze sculptures, isn't it? Chola bronze sculpture, we all know that it is the finest in through this world. So it was a main important thing about the Chola period. Okay, then these are the 9 points which we have to learn, that the activities associated with the Chola temples. Then the 10th one, contrast the election in Uttarameru with the present day Panchayat election. So how this Panchayat members have been elected? So this Panchayat members will be elected by the general election, isn't it? So all the people from those villages, they'll come and select the people. But when we take the election which was held in Uttaramerur, will be something different, because on those days and during the Chola dynasty period, so what happened, they will write the names, one who was selected for the Sabha. That means they'll select the eligible people for the Sabha, and they'll write the names in the small tickets of palm leaves, and they'll put it in the earthenware pot. So a young boy was called out to take the ticket one by one, so that they'll be selecting the committee members for the particular for the Sabha, isn't it? So that election was done in Uttaramerur. So this how we come to know by the inscription which has been written in a stone wall, isn't it? So this is the when we compare these two things, you can come to know about the reason. Then the next thing we can see nowadays a lot of taxes we need to pay, right? For example, if we buy a land, we need to pay the land tax. If it is more income, for example, there is a range in income, right? So if you for example, if it comes higher in the income, means we need to pay certain tax for that. Then wealth tax, sale tax, property tax, excise tax, value added tax, service tax, education cess tax, and then tax on electricity, water tax. So these are the tax that are collected in generally like in cash, not only in check or whatever else. So these taxes are collected in cash. So you can know that in present these are the taxes. Why we need to know why these taxes are collected for the people. So for example, as we are working very hard and we are having our own money to buy the land, then why we need to pay the money for the government? So you people need to know why we need to pay the tax for certain things. So as we saw, so many things like land, income, wealth, sale, property, excise, so for all the things we are paying tax. For what? We doesn't know, right? So you people want to know, na? So just ask your parents why we are paying the tax for all these purpose, and just Google it. If your parents doesn't know, just Google it, why we, the Indian people, why we are paying the tax. For example, when we go to a hotel, as we are eating 2 or 3 idlis, what will the bill? The bill will be 75. So they'll be adding 15 rupees together. What is that? That is the tax which we ate, isn't it? So why it was needed for the government? So just clarify that, and on the Monday I'll tell you for what purpose we are paying the tax for each thing. Then the next is of one word answer. So just we'll go through from the first. Who was Danti Durga? Danti Durga was a Rashtrakuta chief who turned out to be a Kshatriya after performing a ritual known as Hiranyagarbha. So already we have learnt about it. Then what was called rent? Rent means resources obtained from the producers were called rent. Then who were the writers of Prasastis? The learned Brahmanas. The learned Brahmanas were the writers of the Prasastis. Then who was Kalhana? Kalhana was a great Sanskrit poet from Kashmir. And what was Tripartite struggle? So the tripartite struggle was a long drawn conflict. That means it was happened among 3 rulers. That was Gujara Pratihara, Rashtrakuta and Pala dynasty. So 3 rulers from 3 they were fighting for one place, that is of Kanuj. So that because of the 3 rulers were fighting for to control over the Kanuj, it was known as tripartite struggle. Then who wrote Kitab al-Hind? So a great Arab poet Al-Barni wrote this Kitab al-Hind. And yesterday only we learnt about what was called as Ar. The settlements of peasants were called as Ar. We all know that. Then what were called Nadu? So from the Ar, they'll become units, isn't it? Larger units of this groups are known as Nadu. And what was known as Brahmadeya? The land which was gifted to Brahmanas was called as Brahmadeya, or we'll tell it as land grants, isn't it? And what do you mean by Nagarams? So Nagarams means it's an association for traders. Then what was Sabha? It's an assembly of prominent Brahmanas that looked after the Brahmadeya, was called as the Sabha. So these are the questions. You have to copy it in the classwork note and just learn this question and write once and send it to me. Thank you, dear children.